Hello there, and welcome to today's Reiki Circle meditation for inspiration during the COVID-19 pandemic. And today's special featuring, it's April 22nd, 2020. And today the focus is the artwork of Anne Frank. Happy Earth Day to you all. And just a little reminder for these Reiki Circle meditations, all are welcome to the Reiki Circle meditations. Whether or not you're a Reiki practitioner, light worker, energy worker, all faith traditions, or those who are just in need of some calm and support during this time. So welcome. My name is Tracy Lynn. I am a Reiki Master. I know I say the same thing every day. I've been practicing the spiritual practice of Reiki for the past 15 years every day, and a body worker for over 25 years. I was guided to create a series on Facebook Live and YouTube to give spiritual assistance at this time with my knowledge of Reiki and Reiki meditations, self-meditations, and Reiki circles, that whether you're watching live right now, and welcome, I see a couple people, on playback or later on in YouTube. So the series is a kind of spiritual assistance for this time during the COVID-19 pandemic. This particular week, is guided to work on inspiration, different artist works that transcend time, and that can be very inspirational, that were driven from spirit and the breath of spirit, as you can see as I talk about them, because they occurred during very difficult times. Or, sorry, I just missed my point for a second. And they're transcendent as well. So what is Reiki? Reiki is a kind of spiritual practice, and in normal times, you would go to a Reiki class, you would have a Reiki attunement with a Reiki master, and practice with a group or in a group setting in person, or then you would work on family, friends, clients in a therapeutic setting, but always in person. So as I said, I was guided to do this Reiki meditation series. But what it does is we're not in person. We are online currently, which is amazing. And I'm very grateful that we have this right now, actually. It's online because we are, most of us are in a shelter in place, not a lockdown. I will kind of talk about that later. Though there are countries in the world that are currently on a lockdown. But we're in shelter in place, and we must be physically distanced from others if we're not living with them, 6 feet, and have masks and gloves and that kind of thing. Be mindful about cleansing areas that are shared. So that is a little bit about myself, and then a little bit about Reiki. In this 1 hour meditation, I will talk a little bit about Anne Frank, and I'll do that in just a bit. Which of course I read when I was a girl, and I've been to Amsterdam many times actually. So you're going to find a nice comfortable position at home. You'll be seated in your seat with your back straight up and your feet on the ground. It is 1 hour long, so you want to make sure you're in a comfortable position, but always please listen to your body and adjust as necessary or get up as you need to. And as I've said before, if you're listening to this before you go to sleep, that's wonderful too. Just make sure you're in a nice, comfortable position. So then we're going to be calling in Reiki guides if you have Reiki experience and attunements with a teacher, or light golden energy, or your own particular spiritual energy that you feel comforted by, that you have assistance with. So, like I said, all are welcome. So, we're bringing in that energy collectively together. And then we'll be doing some grounding. It is Earth Day, right? So, we'll be doing a grounding into the sacred earth and then bringing the energy back into ourselves, mixing the two energies. Then I'll be guiding you for a self-treatment. So a self-treatment in Reiki, you'll see, is really beneficial because since we can't be touched, use any kind of touch therapy currently, we can do a Reiki self-treatment, and I'll guide you through that. And specifically today, it's for breathing and inspiration, physical breathing and inspiration from spirit. Then you will be receiving a kind of treatment where I will do distance healing Reiki for you, as long as you're open and have your permission. And then collectively, we'll be sending Reiki or your own kind of healing energy to others that are close to you, perhaps not physically, for inspiration at this time of COVID-19. Then we will be sending some healing energy to those with COVID-19 and severe symptoms today for inspiration, hopefully actual breath, and spiritual assistance. It's not a replacement for a medical treatment, but it is spiritual assistance. And then finally, distance healing for the world during COVID-19 and inspiration at this time, like the artists that I feature, perhaps it will affect you, for some kind of spiritual assistance and transcendence at this time. So a little bit about Anne Frank. I was preparing this all day yesterday, and it was the Holocaust Remembrance, and it's very, very emotional. So just going to try to guide this. So here is a quote. I'm sure most of you have read the Diary of Anne Frank. She was a young girl who was Jewish, and her family went into hiding in Amsterdam because they were fearing for their lives from the Nazis, who were performing a kind of ethnic cleansing of millions of people, Jewish, homosexuals, gypsies at the time. And so anyway, while she was in hiding, she wrote a diary, actually previous to going into the diary, and I posted her picture on Facebook of her at a desk writing. And you can see she's very slight, very small. She was 13, but her father said, you can pick out anything you want for your birthday. And she had the intuition and foresight, because she was a writer. She wanted to be a writer. She picked out a diary, which she named Kitty, and became a friend of hers during her 2-year time of the hideout in the secret annex. So this is a wonderful quote I found for Earth Day. It says, "The best remedy for those who are afraid, lonely, or unhappy is to go outside, somewhere where they can be quite alone with the heavens, nature, and God. Because only then does one feel that all is as it should be, and that God wishes to see people happy amidst the simple beauty of nature. As long as this exists, and it certainly always will, I know that then there will always be comfort for every sorrow, whatever the circumstances may be, and I firmly believe that nature brings solace in all troubles." So I thought that was perfect for today, as it is Earth Day. Most of us are shelter in place, not lockdown, which I know we've all been saying, but it really is a very different kind of space. But in the diary, as I said, she had the insight and foresight to pick out her diary at 13 years old as a friend of hers, Kitty. And she detailed the life in the secret annex. And of course, I'm repeating this if you, of course, everyone, I assume, has read the Diary of Anne Frank, but in some ways it can be inspirational for our current life at this time. So she detailed the schedule of the secret annex, starting at 6:45 every day. Every member, there were 8 members of 2 households, and well, actually, and then another man. Um, and they had to do their toiletries in the morning because they couldn't make noise after 8:30 when the workers in the warehouse down below would be there. So they had a very strict schedule. And then they had a very strict schedule for cooking breakfast, cooking lunch, cooking dinner, and had a studying schedule as well. I believe her and her sister, they were doing a stenography course, doing languages and things for their life after the lockdown. And she also talked about writing with Kitty, her dear friend, every day. And some of the writings are just so interesting because she uh, not only detailed the life, but she was very introspective about the relationships of the other people that were also in the home, which were very tense, by the way. There were arguments all the time. They could not leave the house for fear of being shot. Literally, that's what lockdown is. And she also did introspection about herself, about her perceived flaws, her wishes in her life, about the relationships with her family. She wished they were better, for example. She wrote about the status of women during war. And she had a lot of philosophical statements and metaphysical statements, like I just talked about with God and nature. She knew that she wanted to be a writer, and she had the foresight because they believed that they would be released in a few weeks because the Allies were gaining victories in Europe. That she had heard that they were going to publish diaries. And so she began writing her diary so it would be more legible, to be sent to a magazine and chronicle everything that she had been with. And she wanted this. Oh, that's where it becomes emotional. Okay, but that's okay. She wanted this journal to transcend her life. She wanted to be a famous writer, which is what she did. Her father was the only one who survived the concentration camps, and it has been published in 70 languages and sold over 27 million copies. So it's true. Her story is very inspirational, and as well as through the artwork, it transcends, with a kind of spiritual assistance, it transcends her life, which is kind of something that we really are looking for with spiritual assistance, transcending the physical here and now. So that's a little bit about Anne Frank and her inspiration. So now you're going to be in your comfortable position, and you're going to bring your hands to your heart. I feel like we need to thank Anne and those that were involved in the publishing of the book. And now you can bring in your own spiritual energy from above your head down into your body. Reiki or light energy or golden healing energy comes into your heart center and then meets at your hands, at your heart. Then goes down to the rest of your body. to your feet. And now to around the area of your body, allowing the spiritual energy and assistance and protection from masters, guides, your own spiritual assistants. So I'll let you do that now. And when I do close my eyes, I am doing the meditation and I am also serving as a guide. Okay, so now you're going to be doing grounding. And grounding is where you extend a cord from the bottom of your spine down to where you're sitting. And hopefully you're sitting in a kind of straight up and down position, however is comfortable for you. And it extends down to perhaps the building where you are, to the surface of the sacred earth, to down, below the surface of the sacred earth, through to a deeper place. And you will go further and further down. And then attach the grounding cord to a deep place in the sacred earth now. And then once you've found your unique place in the sacred earth, bring that energy back up, that rootedness, stability, being thankful for that energy. Then back to the earth's surface, to where you're seated, the soles of your feet, through your knees, your hips, and to just below where your hands are. And then you're going to mix the spiritual energy and the grounded energy and notice what that feels like now. Okay, so now for the Reiki treatment for yourself, or your own kind of healing treatment, you're going to bring your hands in front of your head and behind the back of your head in a kind of sandwich. And allow the energy to come through your head, through your heart center, through your arms to your hands, and flow between your palms. Allow the energy to flow in this area of your body. Noticing if you feel subtle sensations or see any kind of colors in your third eye area. Just notice. And then bring your hands to the top of your head. And allow the healing energy to flow in this part of your body now. And if your thoughts go to anything before this meditation, your emotions, or after this meditation, that's okay. Just gently go back to the self-healing treatment. Okay, then bring your hands behind your head and to your mouth and allow the energy to flow here. Now, and then move your hand further down to the back of your neck and the front of your chest. And allow the energy to flow in this part of your body. Now, this Reiki or healing self-treatment is simple. It is the same every time you practice, though you will notice different sensations perhaps. But just remember, the healing is simple, and you can do it for yourself every day for a spiritual practice. And then bring your hands to your heart center, allowing the Reiki or the healing golden light energy to flow in this part of your body now. Healing energy flows now. From above your head, through your body, to where your hands meet. Noticing what that feels like without judgment. Just notice. And then your hands will move further down. I know you can't see this on the camera, but my hands, my right and my left, meet like this on the top part of the abdomen. Healing energy. Oh, I almost forgot, today is inspiration. Okay, healing energy and inspiration today. I almost forgot the theme because I was working so much on healing. Healing energy and spiritual assistance in the form of inspiration flows now. And this is an area, of course, that affects your breath, the diaphragm. So then bring your hands below that point, above your navel, and allow the healing energy to flow in this part of your body now. Healing energy, golden energy, inspiration, spiritual assistance flows into this part of your body now. And then to below your navel, right hand on the right side, left on the left. Healing energy, golden energy flows now. For inspiration now. Memories, emotions from the past, whether perhaps they were traumatic or stored in the body. Perhaps not, but they are stored in the body. So every day the spiritual practice and Reiki or different kinds of healing is important for self-healing every day. Every time you practice for healing these memories or traumas in the body. And now bring your hands to just below that position to where your hips are, right on the right hand on the right side, left on the left. Healing energy, inspiration, self-knowledge, introspection occurs now. It flows now. And then bend slightly forward. Your hands will be, it's a slightly uncomfortable position, but your hands will be at your mid-back, right hand on the right side, left at the left. And allow the healing Reiki energy or golden energy, spiritual assistance, inspiration in this area of your body now. Your hands are also on your intercostal areas, which affect breathing. Healing now in this area. And then, bend slightly forward. Your hands go to your lower back. Healing energy flows into this part of your body now. Healing energy flows now. So the healing energy is in the front of your body, the back of your body, now back to your hips again. Moving your hands down to your kneecaps. Healing energy flows into this part of the body now. Healing energy or golden energy flows for inspiration and healing now. And then bend slightly forward. Bring your hands down to your calves, your ankles, your feet, whatever's comfortable. And allow the healing energy to flow in this part of your body now. Healing energy flows now for inspiration during this COVID-19 pandemic. And then bring your hands back to the prayer position. So now I will be sending to you, whoever's watching on live or playback later on. It's okay, don't worry about the whole distance and time thing. Reiki transcends it, as does spiritual assistance. So just remain in your seated position. You can have your eyes open or closed. Just be open, and with your permission, I send healing energy through the top of my body, out my hands towards you now for inspiration, for healing and inspiration during the COVID-19 pandemic now. Healing energy flows to you now for spiritual assistance and inspiration now, today. Healing energy flows through me to you now. Healing energy and spiritual assistance in the form of inspiration. Transcendence flows to you now. In just another minute or two, healing Reiki energy, golden light energy flows to you now. whether you're watching live or on playback. Okay, then I'm just going to disconnect from this. And thank you for being open to receiving some kind of Reiki and healing at a distance for inspiration, spiritual assistance today. So now we're going to be working together. I usually will change the camera towards the altar. And we will collectively be sending Reiki or spiritual energy, golden energy, your own spiritual energy for those that are closest to you, perhaps not physically, for healing and inspiration during the COVID-19 pandemic. Then the next part of the meditation will be for those with the COVID-19 virus and severe symptoms today, for actual inspiration, spiritual assistance, breath of spirit today. And then finally, distance healing for the world during COVID-19 for healing and inspiration, such as we saw with Anne Frank, the featured artist for today. Okay, so now I'm going to be adjusting the camera. You will notice I brought a little plant here for Earth Day and a rose from a friend's garden. So again, you're in your seated position or a comfortable position. Bring your hands to your heart and then bring your hands out in front of you and allow the Reiki energy again to flow through you, or the healing golden energy to flow through you out your hands, or imagining a ball of energy between your hands. And this group of those closest to you, perhaps not physically. Now, and Reiki people will do distance healing. Healing energy flows through you from the top of your head, through your body, coming out your arms, your hands, towards those that are closest to you. And of course, these can be people that you're physically close to, or if not, you imagine this group in front of you and the golden healing energy light ball in front of you for healing, spiritual assistance, and inspiration, as the kind of inspiration we received from the Anne Frank work. Now, Healing energy flows to this group now for inspiration, kind of artistic outlet for them during this difficult time of COVID-19 and the global pandemic. Challenging time. Healing flows now. Healing energy flows now to this group of those closest to you during the COVID-19 pandemic. For spiritual assistance and inspiration now. Healing energy flows. Okay, and then thank you for this group. Thank you for being open to healing. Disconnect. Bring your hands back to the prayer position. You're seated straight up and down again, of course. And you connect with your grounding in the sacred earth energy. And then please bring your hands out in front of you. We'll now collectively send healing for those with the COVID-19 virus and severe symptoms today. So Reiki people do distance healing. Otherwise, imagine the golden healing light that is located above your head, goes through your body, the top of your head to your heart center, out through your hands. Imagining perhaps a ball of light between your hands and this group globally of those affected with the coronavirus and experiencing severe symptoms today for healing, for spiritual assistance, for actual breath now. Breath from spirit. This meditation is not a replacement for medical treatment, care, or treatment. It's just a kind of spiritual assistance for healing spiritually now. For those with the COVID-19 virus globally and severe symptoms now. Healing energy flows now. And if you are more sensitive or empathic, and you feel any sensations in your body that don't belong to you, just gently go back to the healing meditation. The energy flows from the top of your head, through your body, out to your hands, towards this group of those with the COVID-19 virus and severe symptoms. Now, healing breath from spirit flows now. Healing spiritual energy flows now. Healing spiritual energy flows to this group of those globally with the COVID-19 virus and severe symptoms now. Healing spiritual energy flows now for assistance now, today. Healing energy flows now. Healing energy flows now. And we want to thank this group for being open to receiving in some kind of energetic way. Disconnect. Go back to your seated position, hands at your heart. You're grounding again in the sacred earth. Couple nice deep breaths. And then for the last part of the meditation, again, bring your hands out in front of you. And send Reiki distance healing or golden light energy in a kind of bubble between your hands for the distance healing of the global community during the COVID-19 pandemic, for spiritual assistance and inspiration, as with Anne Frank. Now, to use this spiritual practice for transcending difficult times, perhaps transforming this energy as well, creating artistic works, or using a kind of creative outlet for inspiration at this time. Healing energy, Reiki energy, healing golden energy comes through your head, through your body, out your hands, towards the global community during this global pandemic, for spiritual assistance and inspiration today, now. Healing energy flows now. Healing energy flows to the global community now, for spiritual assistance and inspiration now. Healing energy flows to the global community from the top of your head, from above your head, through your body, out your hands, to the global community during the COVID-19 pandemic, offering spiritual assistance in the form of inspiration. Now, spiritual assistance for challenging times, for healing and transforming, transcendence. Now, healing energy flows now. Acknowledging and accepting our thoughts and emotions during this time, for the global community during COVID-19. Healing energy flows. Okay, so I'm going to thank the global community. Bring your hands back to the prayer position. I'm going to adjust this again. Your hands back to the prayer position. Disconnect with that previous healing and the previous meditations. Go back to your grounding cord. So I just want to thank you that are present live or on playback for participating in this Reiki meditation for inspiration and the inspiring work of Anne Frank. Thank you. You can continue supporting the work of Anne Frank by supporting the Anne Frank House in Amsterdam. I will put the links below. You can follow them on social media or give donations. They try to increase the awareness after 75 years, of course, of Anne Frank and her diary, and promote tolerance, especially at this time of all people, as we are one global community. Thank you so much for being here today, and Friday will be the works of Frida Kahlo.